Okay, let me just make sure that it's okay then. Because when you say live on Facebook, doesn't mean that it's live.
I know.
Yeah. Then the times that we talk. It's not live, leh. Yes, it's live.
Great.
Hello, parents. This is Coach John here from Learning Out of the Box, and thanks so much for being here. Yes, we've been away for I think about 3 weeks, and it's time to invite and bring back our guests, the other experts of other subjects. And today we have Sharina Koh. Hello, Sharina.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks so much for being here. Okay, so before I pass the control to you, because I know that
thank you to have me.
Yes, thanks again. Yes, and if your child wants to join us, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So before I pass the control to Sharina, because my Chinese cannot make it on. So if I teach you not very good. Yeah. So today Sharina is going to share with us the tips for doing well for PSLE Chinese and just in time for the exam next week. And Sharina is the ex-teacher, PSLE marker, and head of PSLE departments from Abo Education Center. Yeah, so okay, over to you because I know that you have lots of slides to share. So let's go.
Yeah, okay, so today I will just share a little bit in terms of how students can actually prepare yourself for PSLE. Yeah, so actually I name it as what is the secret to score A star for PSLE.
Yes,
right.
parents.
Okay, let me just put it in the slide mode first.
Take notes, parents. All these are the secrets. Take notes.
Okay, so you will see that most of the time students have got challenges because they will say, Mommy, I don't understand the words. I don't know how to write it. I don't know how to read it. I'm totally lost. I will spend like half of my time on e-dictionary, or comprehension is that I'm stuck when I have to write my own words. Well, actually, Chinese characters is not that difficult, you know, to the extent I can even tell my kids, hey, you don't even have to learn spelling if you truly understand Chinese characters. Yeah, but kids, if you are here today, please don't cut this and then tell mommy and say that, hey, Sharina say don't have to learn spelling and then done. Okay, that is not what I meant. Okay, what I meant is you can understand it differently and it becomes very natural. Okay, very natural in you. So let me just share 3 words. Okay, very common words that PSLE students you must know, you should know. Okay, now these 3 words, if you look at it, they look very similar. Okay, some of you at this moment, I know this, that one look familiar. If this is MCQ, I don't know which one to choose. Okay, and then you tell mommy, I'm confused. Right? Now, do understand that Chinese does one thing is this, you know, olden days we have this saying, 有边读边, 对吧? Okay, so Chinese words is like this, okay, because they might be sharing the Hanyu Ping. So in this case, these 3 words share the same Hanyu Ping. Not the highlight today, I'll put that aside, but just to let you know, since they are similar, we put that aside, we focus on the differences. So what are the differences? Okay, if you have to look at the first one, okay, can you just imagine that you are actually drawing something, writing something, creating something that has got meaning and makes sense? Okay, so if I'm to connect the dots, okay, it actually looks like this. This is the shape that we are talking about. And by looking at this, most of the time students will be able to be creative and say, hey, this one looks like a rooftop. I would think of jia, which is correct. Okay, so if you look at this, you just have to recall it looks like the rooftop. And one way to remember it, you can ask yourself, was that created many years ago? Can everyone live in a house? No. Okay, so only the rich can stay in a house. Okay, so this way is actually 富有的富. Okay, so that's one way to remember. Now the second word, if you have to look at this, all right, some of you will find it familiar, okay, because it resembles the shape of a knife. Okay, shape of a knife. Now, what can you do with a knife? In the past, okay, yes, to cut. So if I have got something, I chop it, I have got 2 parts, correct? 2 parts. So 2 parts actually gives you a pair. And you can remember this as the measuring word for a pair of glasses. A pair of glasses, 一副眼镜. Okay, so you look at the differences, make sense out of it, it's not difficult. Then with that, we come to the third word. It's also very simple already. You will know this as 金, which is 布, okay, cloth, fabric. Now, if you have a choice, would you want to carve on wood or on bronze or metal? Okay, of course not. but without the invention of paper in the first place, but they already have got fabric, okay, they will choose to paint on fabric. So, 一幅画, the scroll, you know, if you recall some Chinese drama you have watched before, the emperor will always have this scroll and then they will start writing on it. Okay, it's made of cloth. So just looking at this very easily, number one, you're able to tell the difference. Okay, and then with that, it's easier for you to remember. And when you are able to remember, that is where you can make sure that you do not mix up any strokes. Because sometimes, you know, for Chinese word, they wrote it wrongly, and then every 2 words will cost you half a mark. You look at it as though it's a picture, okay, and you make sure that your picture is complete. There is no reason why you can't do it. Okay, so this is one very simple and basic way to look at words differently and ask yourself, hey, what is this word related to? Is this supposed to be a picture? Is it supposed to be association? Then with that, it becomes very easy. All right, so this is one way. Once you find that Chinese characters is not that difficult to recognize, the rest will just come in naturally. Okay, so how is this going to help? Number one, okay, with limited time left for PSLE, you need to know how to write the basic words and make sure that you do not have any mistakes. Okay, meaning to say, when you need to, even to search out your e-dictionary for paper 1, okay, please do not just key in the Hanyu Pinyin. Okay, the first word is the word that I want. Not true. You might need to look at it and ask yourself, hey, which word is the word that I truly need? It might be the second word or the third word. And how do you know that might be the correct one? You can do that by recalling what is the meaning of it and make sure you choose the correct association. You have a higher chance of getting it right. Okay, because I do have students, you know, they can click in to see the original meaning of it. But when they click in, it's just more Chinese words. It doesn't help that way. Okay, so you have to depend on yourself and you have to trust yourself. Your teachers have taught you well in the basic understanding of 编盘部首. Make good use of it. Okay, your fundamental is there. It belongs to you. No one can take away. And that will give you the basic confidence. Okay, so one thing. Now, the second thing that from there that you can take note of is, okay, let's say for comprehension, you need to know some basic words for moral writing because they will always ask you, so what have you learned from this passage? And you'll be thinking hard, oh, how to write this word, how to write that word. This is how understanding of the words will help you a little bit. Okay, because when you recall, you can recall in terms of, is it possible that it shares similar sound? Okay, that you have learned before, or is it related to certain 偏旁部首 that I can write a little bit first and then it will just flow naturally. Okay, and this is how characters itself will help you. Okay, so this is the basic fundamental. Okay, then what else you need to take note of? Okay, the second part of it is actually I want to talk about paper 1, which is your compo writing. Okay, compo writing, we all know that it takes about 40 marks. And when you don't write it well, okay, it's very hard for you to score your A already, right? And picture writing is always highly recommended. Okay, highly recommended. Why? Parents will ask me usually, Sharina, there are 2 questions, right? Why is it that we must always choose picture? Everyone is going to write the same. Should I encourage my kid to actually go for the other question whereby, you know, you are given a title 命题 and write that because my child can be so creative when you're writing it. Okay, now let's be very factual about this. This is compo writing. This is not creative writing. Okay, sometimes, right, when your child is too creative and then he or she is not sure how to draw the line, they might be out of point in the examiner's point of view. So we need to be very careful. But how are you going to tell the child, hey, you need to write to a certain extent, cannot be over? So they say, huh, what? They don't get it. They might be talking about, oh, can I imagine myself as a gift, as a cat, as a dog? You know, my students will ask me that and they want to write this type of story. They find it so interesting. But I have to tell them, unfortunately, no, you are just a student. You have to write your position as a student. And they will feel so restricted, firstly. Second thing is, okay, unlike picture, you have to create your own story and make sure that your story has a full flow. Not every child has the ability to think this way. Okay, so whether you should write that type of questions, you will know your child best. Okay, and then you can discuss and decide. My basic to my students is this. If you read this title, this topic, and you have done it before, be it also a Minty or a picture one, okay, 看图作文, you have done it before, go ahead. But if this is the first time you have seen it, okay, at that moment you have the urge to write something different, I say no, because PSLE is not your practice ground. You only have this one chance, okay? Don't do this for the first time during your PSLE, because at that moment I got feeling. It might not be very safe, okay? Always remember, PSLE is not your ground, so please don't do that, okay? Yes, picture is safer because everyone will have similar story, but when you follow it very closely, what we can ensure is you will not go off point. We know that if you totally lead T, right, 8 marks of 40. Can you imagine how scary it is? Okay, so, you know, sometimes be safe, then be sorry. Okay, so that's a reason why school always suggests them to write picture also. That is a reason. Okay, it's not for everyone to write Minty. But when it comes to picture, there is also another problem that students have. Wow, there are so many characters inside. How do I choose? How do I decide? Let me give you, okay, this is taken for assessment book, but I find this picture really good, okay? If you have a chance, look at it, you know, give yourself about 5 seconds, okay, have a look first. And you can think about this, if it is you, which one would you choose to be the main character? Is it going to be the little girl that's, you know, turning back to look? Okay, is it going to be someone that's from the second picture? Is it going to be the cyclist? Is it going to be the person that helped the cyclist? Okay, most of the time, my students will have 3 possibilities. The first one is the little boy, and their reason is the boy appeared twice. Fair enough, huh? The other one they will choose, right, is the second one, okay, because the cyclist. Why? The cyclist appeared 3 times in the picture, more times. And the cyclist, if they write the cyclist, they will be able to express that the cyclist is in pain. Okay, then I will have also a group of students that will say, Sharina, I know most of the time we should choose the one that appeared more, but I think the person who helped should be the main character. And when I ask them why, they will say, oh, because I can write that 助人为快乐之本, so I will go home very happy. Okay, unfortunately, none of the answers are correct. Okay, the one that you should write as the main character, okay, in terms of the one narrating the whole story, which is the war, okay, it's actually the little girl that only appeared 1 time in the first picture. Why? Very simple reason. Okay, you can look at it and ask yourself, right, the very most important first question, okay, is who is the one that is able to see everything that happened? If you look at this again, who is the one that is truly able to narrate the whole story? Okay, not the little boy, because the little boy won't be able to explain much about the first picture. Not the cyclist, because the cyclist only appeared in the 3rd picture. And definitely not the one who helped, which appeared only in the 5th one. Okay, so the best one to choose from is the little girl. Okay, so with that understanding, you will be writing very differently compared to the rest already, because one basic thing is make sure you plot your story, okay, in terms of knowing who is the main person to talk about, okay, what is the moral, okay, and then how to include 10 good phrases from there. I know most of the time your teachers, okay, or tutors will always talk about 5W1H. 5W1H is important, okay, you definitely have to talk about who, when, where, what, how, why. All this needs to be inside. But when you just tell a child, okay, make sure your story has got these 6 things, it doesn't mean that the child is able to write well. Okay, you need to allow the child to understand that when I write this compo, okay, what are the main objectives that I need to hit? I need to make sure that I'm going to end off to talk about what can we learn from this, or what can we understand from this, what is important. Okay, and I need to make sure that the person who talks about it is able to share. All right, now recall back to this picture. They will ask me, so Sharina, if the little girl is going to be the main character, what moral can the little girl share? Because this little girl is a 3rd party. She saw everything only. Not true. So what you can do over here is how do you link back? The front and the back must link. 2 ways. One, you can say that this little girl is actually the sister of the boy, because you can go home and share with mommy what happened, you know, we learned from this, okay? Or you can also talk in terms of, oh, I saw what happened, okay? And from here, I will also remind myself, okay, I shouldn't do it, and I must be extra careful. Okay, so there must be something that you need to be able to link. Okay, so take note of this. Okay, just take note of this. Then you can write better than the rest. Okay, make sure you have the moral and the who. Okay, the main character is important. Decision making, and all this plotting and thinking must be done in 5 minutes maximum. Okay, take note. 5 minutes is the maximum that you should be plotting. Okay? And in these 5 minutes, do not spend too much time looking at the helping words and decide, oh, this helping word must be in picture 1, this helping word must be in picture 2. Yes, it is good that you are able to use all the helping words, okay? But helping words is to help those who don't have the words, okay, to be able to write better. If today you know the words, okay, and you have better words, okay, please don't. Because like just recently, one of my students actually have got composition also, and one of the helping word was cool. Along that line, a very simple word, okay, and she, instead of writing the usual good phrase that we have gone through, she wrote that. And I asked her why. Okay. Oh, she said, oh, this is a helping word. And my teacher said that I must use the helping word. Then I said, no, helping words is to help. Okay. And to help those that don't know what to write. Okay. And how to write certain words. It's there to help. You have a better word. Please use your better words. You have one sentence of good phrase to describe crying. In the end, you just wrote cry. Okay. That is not the way. Okay, so good phrases is actually also a decision point in terms of who is going to score about 32 out of 40. Okay, and they will be saying that how do I score better? Okay, to be honest, you have to be hardworking and memorize some good phrase. Okay, why is it important? The good phrases will help you to link your sentences together, or maybe to even help you to start your paragraphs better. Okay, so learning them helps you to link and gel your story together. And when you actually have already learned the good phrases, it helps you to ensure that you are not making any grammar mistakes when you're writing.
When you talk about a good phrase, can you share with us like maybe 2 or 3 examples? Because I think different parents have different definition of good phrases.
Okay. My definition of good phrase, right, goes beyond just one idiom. Like for example, if you have 2 sets, one set is just for angry, 火冒三丈, okay, and then the other one is actually 气得火冒三丈, 面红耳赤, 或者火冒三丈, 七窍生烟.
Wow, okay. Sounds very team.
Sounds better, okay, because just one idiom itself, it's very hard for you to be better than the rest. So your good phrase, it will be good if you have about 2 put together, 2 idioms put together to describe one thing. But please don't go 3, 4, 5 idioms and lump them together. That one is over. Okay, don't have to. So if you see, if I'm talking about, let's say 面红耳赤, 火冒三丈, it describes different parts of anger. 火冒三丈 is to say that you are angry. 面红耳赤 is to describe the look of the face. I'm not using the exact same thing to describe. Okay, and at this moment, parents, please don't take what I say and then ask your child to change what they have memorized earlier. Okay, at this moment, I would rather give you a checklist to make sure you have that, and that would be good. Okay, so what are the basic things? Take note. Okay, flashback is one way that you can write. Okay, flashback is one way you can write, but this is not a must. I repeat, this is not a must, because I know some schools doesn't allow students to write flashback. Okay, because some flashback that they memorize, right, is for specific situation. And flashback is better if you're writing the main character as well. So if you're writing Xiao Ming, Xiao Hua, all this, right, it's actually not the best way to start it off. So I would say this is optional. For those that have been doing it, continue to do so. I think it's great. But if this is something new to you, forget what I say. Forget about flashback. Just do what you usually do. The more common one, weather. Okay, and then if you're doing weather, okay, good to have about 2 types. One is the good weather, the most common one. The other one is the rainy one. Okay, yeah. So why will I say that? Because when we are talking about a good weather, you know, standard picture is that, you know, I'm going to a place, to a shopping center, to school, all this. Okay, we'll always start with the morning. And usually the morning is a good day to start with. Okay, so have that. Now, at this moment, if you're thinking, my child only knows 风和日丽, how? Sure. Then you just have 一个风和日丽, 凉风习习的早晨. It's still better than just saying 一个风和日丽的早晨. Okay, add one more insight.
Mm.
Okay, so at this moment, just make sure you have a list of it. Okay, and you don't have to ask me which one is the best. With just a couple of days left, right? Make sure they master what they are already learning. That is the key thing. If they have got extra time to add in one more idiom into their standard sentence, we can consider. But don't ask them to scrape off everything and do something else. Okay, that's not the intention over here. All right. Okay, then another way to start the story is to use sound. What do I mean by that? A few you can consider in terms of, like, for example, Lin 放学的钟声响了. That is one way. Or Lin 家里的闹钟响了. 一看，哦，我上学迟到了. You can start with sound. And students, if you are here, if you want to start with sound, can you please kindly make sure when you write the link, you use the correct link? Because I do have some students that when they check eDictionary, they will have all sorts of link, but none of that is the correct one. So how to decide? Now, link refers to the sound of the bell, of the sound of the clock. And if you recall the bell, okay, what is it made of? Metal. Okay, if you recall in the past, the clock, okay, the parts of it is not plastic, right? In the early days, there's no plastic at all. We're talking about metal also. Okay, so 钟声，闹钟的钟，铃声的铃是金字旁。Okay, so you just use your common sense. I would say your common sense. You will know how to choose which is the correct one. Okay, so that would be your starting. Now the body of it, basic words that you need to know, and very, very common one, how to walk. Okay, like, you know, when you're very happy, you can say 踏着轻快的脚步. When you're upset, you can say 拖着沉重的脚步. You can say 三步并作两步. All these are the common actions. Okay, most common one. Then when it comes to feelings, okay, the happy ones, sad ones, you know, I believe you have definitely learned it. It's just that for angry, I would suggest you remember two. Because so far, there will be situations whereby you have to use anger twice. It's more common. So you can remember two. Okay, and then about shock, afraid, worry, and shine. Okay, so these are the few. Okay, and then for the ending part, okay, why do I have this thing, recount what happened, and then there's a second angle. My story flow would usually be like this, okay? So something have happened, okay? And then let's say I'm to go home. I might be late home already because of whatever that happened earlier on. Mommy might be at the door waiting for me, you know, very angry. Why are you late? That is when you can use the angle again. Okay, and then the recount part is a very, very, very common one. 我把事情的来龙去脉一五一十的告诉妈妈，妈妈听了竖起大拇指，称赞我是一个怎么样的好孩子。Okay, this is the very common one. Okay, it will be good if you have that. Okay, so the mom praise you, you're very happy. Okay, all settled. You don't end there. Finally, you end off with the standard ending, which is the quote. 正所谓 whatsoever. 经过这件事，我终于明白什么道理。Okay, so the flow is this. If you have a flashback, go ahead. If you don't, forget about it. Okay, just start with the basic one, either weather, okay, or going to school or back from school. And then the body part is the part whereby something happened. And naturally, you know, you are traveling from one place to another. You can add in the steps. Okay, how do I leave the school? 踏着轻快的脚步，拖着沉重的脚步。Whatever happened, I will definitely have my emotions. Okay, I might be happy, I might be sad, I might be shocked or worried. Okay, settle that already. Okay, then perhaps it's a situation of you either going home or going to school, right? Depending on it. And most probably because of your encounter, you are late. So that is why you have the anger. Okay, who will be angry about you? Then you tell the person what happened. And then you end off with what you have learned from there. Okay, so this is a very basic structure. All right, a basic structure for compo. Okay, so this is how you can actually do it. Okay, so a recap for this is what I will do also, a flashback about what happened. I'm going to school, okay, and then I saw this over here. For this one, I'll be using the word about shock. Okay, the person fell. Maybe you can talk about the person cried. Okay, definitely you and your brother, if you are sibling, you'll be shocked also or worried. Okay, and then someone helped the person up. How would you feel about it, or your brother feel about it? Okay, I feel very ashamed of myself. Okay, embarrassed. Okay, I helped the person, and then say you are late going home, mommy is angry about you. I told mommy what happened and what did we learn from this. Okay, so easily you can count about 7 to 8 good phrases already. Okay, so that's why I say, you know, a good compo about 8 to 10 good phrases, you know that you are very safe. And some parents will ask me, Sharina, how many words should I write? How many pages? Okay, now, because school 稿纸, okay, number of words is different for every school. Not all schools are the same. All right, so I would say that, you know, it will be a good 3 pages. If you're able to write that, should be fair enough. Yeah, about 3 pages. You're able to complete it also. Okay, so about 3 pages. And please do not stick to 150 words. Okay, this is really the minimum. But honestly, if you only write 150 words, I'm not sure whether you are able to pass. Okay, yeah, I know that is the instruction. Okay, but that is not the way. We also know that, let's say you want to go, I'm so sorry. I guess parents, you can hear where I'm staying.
Paya Lebar. Is it Paya Lebar? Cannot hear. Sorry, I think you're Punggol. Sure. I mean, it's fine because we also have other interviews with crying kids. Yeah, so this is normal for us. And now my little girl is coming in. So
hello.
It's my turn soon. Okay, just a quick question. Okay, let's say if I don't use the girl, but I use the lady in front of the girl and I say it's the mommy who is telling the whole story.
Unlikely, because the mommy doesn't know what is going on. The mommy wasn't the one that is able to see what happened to the little boy. Yeah, so the best person to use is still the little girl. Yeah. Okay, so this is the first part that you can rework on, okay, or to add a little spice to your compo to score better for your compo. All right. The other part I want to focus more on is actually comprehension. Okay, because comprehension, we always got standard problem. Okay, after exam, you will ask your kids, hey, how's your paper? Oh, difficult. Why is it difficult? Cannot finish. Why you cannot finish? I don't understand the passage. Or you go back your paper, hey, I thought I can score full marks, but I didn't score 1 mark or 0. Okay, then in my point of view, you don't even understand the question itself. Okay, so let's tackle these 2 things today. The first one is actually very easy to tackle. Okay, you don't understand the passage. Remember when we started off, I said that, you know, it's really not that difficult to understand, okay, the content. So let's look at this. Okay, just a couple of words. If you are to focus on what you can understand, okay, most probably basic words is really 看见爸爸, they will know. The something something, not sure. Okay, then something something, 远去. Okay, so daddy away. Simple understanding. 我, maybe this one is not sure, but they will know 红 and 眼. Then I will ask, okay, so you know 我, 红 and 眼. What do you think you can understand? Because there's also a 水 over here. Your eyes are red and then there's water. What do you think you're doing? You're crying. Able to guess. Okay, and then the last sentence, most of the time my students are able to get it. 我伤了爸爸的心. So if I'm to ask any students, right, to tell me what is the gist of this, very easily they will say, oh, daddy went away. Okay, I'm crying because I have dad's heart. Very easy. If I'm to ask you to rate, you know, difficulty 1 to 5, they will most probably say 1. So easy, not difficult at all. Okay, but if this is what I give them at first, they just look at it. And I ask for difficulty level. Sharina, I think this is not even 5, this is 10. Don't understand. But the thing is, it's the same. Most of the time, word that you don't understand are words that is descriptive. Okay, it's very common that descriptive words are words that you don't understand. So why do you want to focus on things that you don't know? Focus on what you know and you realize that it's really easy. And that's the mentality and mindset you need to have during examination, because for comprehension, there's no one you can depend on. You can't stop the invigilator and ask, what is this? No one is going to answer. The only person you can ask is yourself. So you have to ask yourself, hey, Sharina, what is it that you know? Focus on it. Focus on what you know, and you can still piece out the story. All right, so this is really basic. Okay, tell yourself you can do it. You really have to tell yourself you can do it. Okay, so I'm sorry, after today, right, if parents, if your kids are saying that, oh, they don't understand passage, so they cannot do, no more excuses really. Okay, we can really go word for word and do a calculation. I have done that with my kids over so many years. There is never a situation whereby there is more than 30% of the words that they don't understand. Okay, when I really did that with my students, you say you don't understand, right? Okay, let's do a word count. Actually, they can. They really can. But they choose to say they can't. Okay, so don't allow that 10-20% of words that you don't know to stop you and say that I don't know 100% of it. Not true. Okay, so once you have understood the passage, what's next? Okay, the key thing is this: you need to understand the question. And today, what I want to share with you, right, is what we call, in Advo's point of view, we call a one-page concept map, whereby we have a question types. Okay, the one that I want to focus on is this one. When we have got 什么为什么 type of question, very, very common, easily jackpot 2 to 3 questions from here. Okay, all you have to do is remember 2 key things. Okay, most of the time, if it is a why question, kindly make sure that when you are answering, you have got a clear full story, which is the root cause and the consequence. And sometimes you have to infer. I'll talk about inference later. Okay, just remember, a why question, you must give me the full story. Okay, the root cause why, and then the consequence of it plus inference. If it is a what question, what is this? How do I prove it? Okay, then you have to just remember AID. Why? Because in your answer, it should be an action, an incident, okay, or a description of something or someone. Only that is a proof. Okay, let me talk about this first. Okay, some of the students will be asking me, Sharina, if someone said something, is that a proof? I say no. Okay, saying is not a proof. Certain thoughts doesn't prove much also. The key focus should always be looking for the action, incidents, and description. Why? Now, if today Sharina says that she is the prettiest lady on earth, is that a proof?
Yeah, it's a proof.
Well, thank you so much. But unless today Sharina win the beauty pageant, unless Sharina was being crowned as whatsoever, the pretty one in school, okay, then that is a proof because it happened. Okay, or someone is able to describe Sharina in details, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the hair, all this. If not, you can't prove it. So saying is not a proof. So remember that, because sometimes good passages, right, they will have prep over here. And students being students, right, when they have found one answer to be very happy about it, they just write down and ta-da, done. They will not look for other things to make sure that they have chose the correct one. And your marks are gone. Knowing the question, okay, but make the wrong choice. Okay?
Yeah, okay, so just let me jump in while the plane is flying over Sharina's house. Yeah. Okay, for parents who are just come in, today we have this rare chance to get our ex-teacher to share with us how to get another 10 marks for PSA Chinese, which I'm also learning right now. Yeah, so if any question, please ask now, because we only have up to 8:30 for you to ask questions. So any question, just post the comments, and then I will just post over to Sharina. And
Okay.
a quick one before I pass over to her. I think for parents who are overwhelmed by all this, I think you apply what you can. You take in what tips that you can share with your kids. Yeah, so do not change everything like what Sharina has said. Use and apply a bit at a time. Do not change everything that your child has been doing.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much. My plate is just over, just nice. Okay, so take note about this. Okay, remember AID done. Okay, now the key one is actually the first one, which is root cause and consequence. Now, maybe a little bit of interaction here, John. If today I ask you,
Yep.
那个妹妹的眼睛红红的 ，Can you make out an answer？ 为什么？
哇
Anything that you can think of， 妹妹的眼睛红红的，为什么？
为什么？因为他的眼睛是红的。I mean, so what you want me to say? Sorry, I'm like I put in a spot.
Okay, a typical student will usually say, 哦，因为她哭了。或者 really but your answer is correct. I really do have students that reply it this way. 因为她的眼睛是红的，所以她的眼睛红红的。I was like, right, yes, you are right, yet you are not right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, as parents, we might have our own answer. It's like, how can you write such thing? But it's correct, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to, how do we tell the kids that, hey, this is not the right way to answer? So thank you, John, for this example. The key
Like
thing,
science
right?
also, or like science is the same. Science have their own ways to answer as well.
Yeah, so they are correct, Then some parents get so frustrated with their kids. It's like, how can you answer this like this? Like, what are you thinking? But if you take a back step, actually what they write not wrong, what? It's correct, 因为是红色，所以是红色啊。So if you ask them, then so what is the correct answer? They won't be able to tell you because they don't know what's wrong. So here today, what I'm going to share is very easy. Okay, you ask your kids 2 things. Number 1, 这个人的眼睛是红红的。Okay, and this is a why question. In your answer, is there any root cause about 眼睛红红的? He will be able to answer, or she will be able to answer no. Then that is missing. That's why you are wrong. And that's why your answer is not acceptable, because for all types of questions, there are basic guidelines. So let them know about the guidelines to guide them to write the answer. And you don't have to be angry about it anymore. Okay, and they don't have to be upset about it because they are right after all. Okay, so come, let's have this bridging. Okay, guidelines. First part, the root cause. Then we talk about the consequence. So let's say the most basic answer students will give me, okay, is cooler. Let's say, great, cooler, say cooler. Okay, 妹妹 cooler. Did you answer the part about why 妹妹 cool? Because you did, is there a root cause? Oh, I didn't write the root cause. Fantastic. So what is missing in your answer? I need to go and find the root cause. Okay, because the consequence is she cried, right? And then they will start to think about the answers already. So maybe they will say, oh, 因为我考试不及格，所以哭了。I say, great. So that is the root cause, right? Now think about it, because sometimes there's inference. 为什么考试不及格 equates to 哭? Failing equates to crying. There is still something missing. So what do you think is missing?
可能他觉得很失望哎。
See, so 因为他考试不及格，所以失望难过的哭了。You ask yourself, do I have the full guidelines, expectations?
Wow.
I have, okay, full marks, done, that's all. So this is how you check back. You see, sometimes we tell the kids, hey, check, you got time, you better check. They will check that they have written words on the line. They check that they will even count the number of MCQs that they have. Okay, all the MCQ shaded, they check. But they are not checking their answers for accuracy. So with guidelines, they know what to check and how to check exactly. There's no reason why they can't score full marks, because they are thinking like examiner and knowing what is the expected answers they should write. So when they check that there's no root cause, I better go and find the root cause. How come these 2 things doesn't seem to gel very nicely? I better start thinking. And that is when we solve the mystery of why some schools will tell the students, please write your own words. Yeah? Okay. True and not true. There are questions that perhaps you have to add in your own words. Okay, but the beauty for Chinese, unlike English, is this. Okay, Chinese you can copy. Okay, you can copy. I'm not saying lifting wholesale. You can copy. I know English you can't do that. Okay, you can copy the parts to make sure that you have the most of it. But sometimes you still have to add in your own words. Like for example, what John suggested, right? 可能难过, 失望. Okay, maybe these words are not being put in the passage. But from the whole story, you knew that Mei Mei is very disappointed with herself. And that is the thing that you have to write on your own. Rest assured that words that you have to write on your own are basic words that you should know. Okay, so if you can't write it, you have to tell yourself you have to study. That's all. Because Chinese words, okay, for CL, they will test within the word bank. Okay, it's not like higher Chinese or secondary school while it's like free play. Okay, it's within the list of words. So you have no excuse to say you can't write it unless you didn't study your own parts. All right, so this is what I meant by, you have to look for the root cause, the consequence, and make sure they gel. And the gelling part, sometimes, okay, it might not be from the passage. You might need to write on your own. Okay, so take note of this. So with that understanding, right, let's test one question.
So can I just check with you, like say, if we miss out any part, how will the marks be deducted?
Well, depending, some questions, right, they will just omit that 1 mark. Okay, more comma y is 1 mark. But there are times whereby it is really the gist of everything. You might score 0. Yeah, you might score 0. So if you have questions that's like this, I think very easy. You take out your own paper, you look at it based on what I share over here, and you ask yourself, have you answered all parts? And then you go and compare what I showed over here against the answer that your teacher gave. It will just make sense. Okay, so take note what the teacher gave suggested answers. As long as you write your own and you actually have all this, your answers will also be correct. All right, so you can just take note of that, because sometimes they do so many papers, and to them every single complete paper is a different paper. But when I look at it, right, it's just certain type of questions you're not answering well. Yeah. So take one paper, look at it, okay, solve this, and you'll know that compre can be very easy. You can score full marks for comprehension. It is possible. Okay, you just need to know what are the key things that you have to take note of, like what you mentioned, science. Okay, there are certain keywords. You don't have it, that's it. Yeah, you don't have the keywords, no marks. Okay, because for compre, they are not going to check your grammar and language to that extent until you know, oh, this one, the language is not very good, I will deduct marks. Won't. Unless the teacher don't understand what you're writing, the marks will be deducted. Okay, as long as your meaning is still there, okay, their key focus is still the words that they have to take note of. That's why sometimes you see when they mark, oh, they'll put a tick here and tick there, and then they give you the marks, because that's the keywords they are looking for. Okay, yep. All right, so let's look at this. So this is a very, very simple 2 paragraphs. And my question is also very simple. 什么吸引了文中孩子的注意? What attracted the child's attention? Okay, so you can just have a look at it very quickly. Okay, reading this should take you only about 15 to 30 seconds maximum. And you should be able to answer this very quickly also. Yeah. So parents, you know, you can check with your child what is their answer. You can also ask yourself, what would your answer be? Okay. With that, then you don't wait for the answer. Okay, because with your answer, I will be able to share with you why your answer is right or why your answer is wrong. And then we can all learn together. Okay, because when you wait for answer, you don't have the realization. Okay, so I'm sorry, you are the only student here. What would your answer be?
How do you pronounce this? Wow.
Not important. Not important. Your answer will be from first paragraph or second paragraph.
Okay, so I got MCQ.
Yeah. Or both.
Is it a trick question?
Or none. Okay, I'll have 4 options. MCQ.
So I guess as parents, I think we think too much also. Yeah. We overthink. Okay, I think second paragraph tells us more things about the butterfly. Okay,
good. Okay, so there are certain things that as we are thinking like a student now, right? If we want to help them, most probably they will know the word butterfly. True. The word that they don't know would be this word, yong. Okay, but it's okay. You can actually ask them also, do you know the parts insect? You know, right? Okay, done, good enough. So what will turn into a butterfly? They know already.
So yong in this case is what? The caterpillar, or is the
pupa? the pupa.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, okay. So good enough already. They know that this thing is going to turn into a butterfly. Okay, so most of my students will give me 2 types of answer. The first answer they will give me, right, is what you shared also. Oh, it will turn into a butterfly. Then the second one, right, they will be talking about is actually the top part. Oh, they saw something that's transparent. Okay, and their decision is very simple. Oh, this is only 2 marks. 2 marks. I think the answer should be very short. Then they will just eeny, miny, choose one, and then they write the answer. Okay, common. Okay, come. First thing to take note of, 2 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks, doesn't matter. It's about understanding the question to know what you should write. If it's long, it's long. If it's short, it's short. You will never know whether the settler, right, decide that one phrase is half a mark or 1 mark. No one knows. Right, so this 2 marks is just there for us to give you the marks. It doesn't really decide, okay, how long you are going to write. But of course, if this is 4 marks and then you didn't write 1 line, something is missing lah. Okay, but you do not decide how many points to write because of how many marks. If you found 4 points, still write 4 points. If you found 2 points, write 2 points. Okay, so let's look at this. My question is, 什么吸引了文中孩子的注意? Okay, the more common one, they will say 透明的东西吸引了孩子的注意。And then I will ask them, take your water bottle, look at it. Okay, is a water bottle also transparent? It is. So if you see a water bottle, would you be 好奇呢? Would you be curious? No, right? Why not? Why won't you be curious about your transparent water bottle? Then they will just look at me, Sharina, of course, I know this is a water bottle, precisely. So if you're writing it in a way whereby the child knows what is that 透明的东西, the child will not be curious in the first place, right? So your answer is confirmed wrong, ma. If your answer is actually the butterfly, the child, you are writing it in a way as though the child knows that it's a butterfly. Then how is it possible that this little boy is so curious that he asks, what is that? So what is missing in your answer? Why is the child so curious about it? And the real reason is actually because either it's the first time the child has seen it, okay, or the child has never seen it before. And the keywords that I wanted is really that simple. 这是他第一次看到的，或者从没看过的东西。My keyword is actually never seen it before or first time seeing it. And you ask yourself, does it make sense? So now if we do a replay, okay, if my answer is, 透明的东西引起孩子的注意, a transparent thing attract attention. A transparent thing might not attract attention, isn't it? Not clear enough. It doesn't write the root cause of why the child is curious. Okay, or if I say, the butterfly, okay, is something that the child is curious about. Hey, if it is really known that it's a butterfly, the child will not ask daddy, what is it? So something is still missing from there. Okay, and that is when you have to use your own word and add it in. So parents at this moment, right, I strongly urge you, okay, this question, you might say that, wow, unlike the past, yes, we are talking about critical thinking, we are talking about higher order questions, but the questions are not here to kill the kids, okay? The questions are here just to ensure the kids are thinking. If your child is fantastic in English, what's that called? Visual text, your child can do Compre. Okay, because the English visual text, you think about it, show you a picture, why is this, like that, why is there this thing? The idea is the same. It's the same idea. If your child is thinking one step, okay, one further step is all you need to have your perfect answer. But in the past, we are being taught so well that first question, first paragraph, you can just copy everything. The child is no longer thinking. But now we are only requesting a child to think. It is not difficult. So you can even go back to fundamental. Let's say today, okay, your child is drinking a packet of chrysanthemum tea. Ask your child, why do you think this package is yellow? Why not black? Why not purple? Have they ever thought about it? No, they just took it for granted already. Yellow lah. Why is it yellow? It has always been yellow. That is when you realize that, hey, my child is not thinking. Start to ask them questions. Okay, you don't have to do like thousands and thousands of questions, right, to get this. Okay, just a daily conversation, have some time with your kids. Ask them basic things. Today they have received a flyer. Why is this flyer, the big word free is so big? And why is it in yellow or red? Why not other colors? There is a reason for it, isn't it? Just get your child to think and answer you. If they are able to answer, great. That means they're thinking further. They should be able to do this type of questions. They will be great for English visual text also. Okay, you can't run away. Language is like this. So if your child can do well for English, there's no reason why your child can't do it for Chinese. It's just certain habits that they don't have, or they don't even know that they are supposed to add this part in. When they know, I think everything will be great for them already. Yeah, so this is what I want to share today in terms of Compre questions, because this is the one that a lot of students, they just don't understand why they don't score. Yeah. Yeah, so two things here.
Yeah. Say if I want to write some more, which is, and the child is waiting to see what will happen next. Do I have to extend the answer, or so I'll leave it as?
Okay, based on what you shared, right? If we are to look at this context, 他好奇地问爸爸那是什么? So it is already giving you the cue that the child doesn't know what is that. So you can't say that I'm waiting to see. Yeah, okay, so cannot. Yeah. So the passage will give you clue somewhere. You just have to be, you need to sense that where is it. Antenna needs to work a little bit here. Yeah.
Okay, let me lift two questions from the same parents, and I'll just post it inside the chat.
Okay.
Okay. From Mummy Ivy. So she asked 2 questions.
Is it possible to copy the whole sentence? I'm not sure which sentence, but when we're talking about lifting, usually we talk about lifting of the whole paragraph. So let's say today your child lifted the second paragraph, literally lifted, including the conversation marks will definitely be deducted. Yeah. So most of the time we talk about paragraph. Sentence is all right. And sometimes you might be copying 2 or 3 sentences is possible. Yeah.
Okay. Then she also asked another question.
One word written wrongly. Okay. So every 2 wrong words will deduct half a mark. Yeah. 2 wrong words will deduct half a mark. So let's say, okay, it's a situation whereby this wrong word is repeated like 4 times in the same sentence. Okay. They will only look at it as 1 wrong word. Yeah.
Great. Okay. And Michelle is asking about the comprehension.
Okay, so not necessary. Okay, not necessary because how do I put it? You know, sometimes when we set papers, okay, it's already allocated for comprehension. This is the number of questions, okay, and then we have to play around with the number, the marks. Okay, so it might be a situation whereby I have got 3 pointers, but then I only got 2 marks left for this. How? Then we'll look at it in terms of importance. Then one of them might be 1 mark. The other one will be half mark. Yeah, so that's why I say the marks allocation is just give you a sensing of how much you need to write, but not the pointers that you have to write. We will never know the decision in terms of 1 mark or half mark. Yeah. Any other questions?
Great. Parents, if you're still around, and I think right now about 26 of you online, if you have anything, please ask now. If not, we are going to end soon. Yeah, because it's already 8:28. Okay.
Maybe yeah, sorry.
Yes, please. Sorry, you want to add something?
No, I'm just saying that I'll just do a very quick wrap up.
Yep.
So 2 things that you can take note of. The first part, when it comes to compo parents, okay, decision point, if your child is more of, I would say, average child, okay, remind your kids, do not suddenly decide and write 命题作文. Stick to the picture because it will give your child more content to write. If not, your child will, half a page and done. Okay, if your child is already scoring about 25, 26, okay, check 2 things. Number 1, is the choice of character correct? Okay, because correct choice of character allows you to write more. Number 2, does your child have got enough good phrases to lengthen your content to write about 2.5 to 3 pages? Okay, that is for both. Then for comprehension, right, I will urge you to re-look at your compre, okay, to search for 2 things. Number 1, okay, are there words that your child don't know how to write for the last question? Because it's related to moral. Okay, like 他是一个怎么样的人？善良、有好奇心、孝顺、有恒心毅力。These are words that might not be from the passage. Your child must know how to write. Okay, so these are the basic words. Look for it. Make sure your child knows how to write it. Then after that, what you can do is to match what I've taught you all today. Is it your child is not scoring full marks because of that missing link? Okay, like root cause and consequence, this is really the basic fundamental. Your child might not be writing enough to score the marks. Yeah, so these 2 things should be more than 10 marks we are talking about here. Yeah.
Parents, I hope that you are taking down notes because I am taking down notes. Yes. Probably can we want to stop share screen first while we do a wrap up. Yeah, and in the meantime, I think we'll wait for any last minute question from the parents, because I think right now the tension is very high in the air and kids are pretty anxious and stressed out now. Yeah. Parents, sorry again.
I know they are stressed and all this, like, really just counting down. We are all counting down together. Yeah, but I think focus is important. Focus in terms of at this moment, which one will give your child a better winning strike. If your child is really so weak in the last question, okay, 4 marks question, but your child has potential to score better for MCQ, which is like 25 questions we're talking about. Let's not put that much time on the very last question. but focus on which one your child can score better. Yeah, we have to strategize.
Yeah. Yeah, parents, okay. Yes, Mommy IB got one last question. Yeah, okay.
Okay, good question over here. So the question asked is, sometimes the question is about asking about the character. Okay, do you have to give example to show the characteristics? Now, if today, remember just now I was saying that Sharina, the prettiest lady on earth, can I just stop there? Cannot. You need to justify it. So yes, you need to give example. Okay, and for this one, please take note. If you want to talk about the characteristics of the person, right, before you decide the character, okay, can you please recall and think about what is the moral of this passage? Okay, because it ever happened to one of my students. My passage was actually about this little boy is not honest. Okay, then was being caught a couple of times before he finally decided to turn over a new leaf because of something happened. So what my student wrote was, okay, he is not an honest child. And his reason was because he has stealed many times. I still have to give him 0 for that. Because the moral of this story was about 知错能改. Okay, so take note, when you want to talk about character, okay, before you decide what to write and which one to write, look at the whole story. What is the purpose of this story? Definitely for Chinese, it's about moral. Can't run away. Okay, about moral. You know the moral, then you decide the character, and then you need to have either certain action or an incident or description that happened to justify it. It is necessary. Okay. So if I want to be harsh with my students, right, you cannot justify the characteristics. I will just give you 0 because you have written something that is not useful. It doesn't prove anything. Yeah.
Great. Thanks for the tip. So the key thing is don't write our point.
Yes.
Okay. This one is for me. Mommy Linda. Yes, you can watch the replay. Yeah, because all the Facebook Live will be in Facebook forever, I think. Okay, I think it's really 833. Parents, if you have any more questions, just post it. I mean, if Sharina has more time, she'll do her best to answer it. If not, let's say the parents want to contact you, where can they go to?
They can contact me directly. They can contact the center also. Yeah. Is it okay if I share my number? Okay.
Number not here.
Okay, then through you.
No.
Or they can contact the center.
Yes, correct. Yeah. That'll be better. Yeah, because it's to be the same arrangement for all the guests.
Okay, can.
Yeah. Okay. So for parents, if you want to contact Sharina, you can go to ADVO, ADVO Education Center. Yeah, because I think I am very glad that they allow Sharina to come to our platform to share with the kids. Because I think right now I agree with you. We have to go strategic in the sense of looking at the lowest hanging fruits for your kids.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Sharina, thanks so much for your time, and I will always have one last question not related to the Chinese lah. Yeah, just now you asked me, so now I can ask you back. To be fair. So
okay, sure.
Like, oh dear, what? How? You ask me to pronounce a word which oh no, this is a live show and I don't know how to pronounce a word, and will it make me feel embarrassed? Never mind. Heng I teach maths, not Chinese. Okay.
So sorry, but interaction it always keeps me lively.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. So right now I know that you also teach the P6 as well, and as we know, the stress is there, the anxiety is there, the tension is there among kids and parents. Yeah. So right now, if I may invite you to walk down the memory lane, and now the older Sharina see the younger Sharina, the 12-year-old you. Yeah. So what will you tell her? There's no right or wrong. I mean, it may not be related to the PSLE. It can be anything. No wrong or right. So what will you tell her?
That's a great. What will I tell the 12-year-old myself?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think with just a couple of days left, Just give your best shot. Okay, really give your best shot, and then at that moment, okay, when you are inside, just tell yourself you can do it. Yeah, really just tell yourself you can do it. Okay, because at that moment you can only trust yourself and ask yourself and no one else. Okay, don't think about if only I study this. Oh, I remember this, but yeah, if only I paid more attention. Yeah, this question teacher shared before, if only I study. At that moment, please just focus on what you can do. Okay, forget about what you didn't. Okay, that is just a waste of time. Just do it. Really just do it. Yeah, stop thinking, start writing. Okay, don't think already, just do. Take a pen and write something. There is something in yourself, just trust it. Yeah.
Great. Yes. So and for kids who are feeling tense up, and do remember the Air Force is above you. It got your back.
Yeah.
Only if you stay in Punggol.
Yes, correct.
Okay, Joe aside, I think it's a very small world, and I think parents also know you. Parents in our Facebook group also know you, and we have a mommy by the name of Pearl Go, and she shared with you this, which I think you can take it down as a testimonial.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, wow. Sharina is a very knowledgeable and has shared a lot of useful tips compared to other guests who claim to be expert, but it's not.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think it keeps me going, really. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I think you should screenshot this, man.
I will later. This is in your Facebook, is it? Yeah.
Yes, I can. Later I can send you. I can WhatsApp you the direct link.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Yeah, because I know that I only contacted you like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and you have been very generous and saying yes instantly, just to help our kids, even though the kids are not doing Chinese now.
It's okay. We are all in education for a reason. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, thanks so much. Really, I appreciate it. Really. 以后我请你吃饭。
Yeah. We can go chit chat and look at your kids. I want to look at them.
Okay. So
actually, a younger one.
okay. Can. Yeah, because you're saying that she's very cute, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't hold you back because I know that you have a 9-month-old baby.
Yeah.
Is she sleep already?
I think so. Should be no sound. I didn't hear anything. Should be sleeping already.
Okay. Then you go and rest lah, huh? Okay.
Can. Okay,
Thanks,
we keep in touch. And parents, anything you can always post it, and then we will answer it accordingly.
Yeah, or you can head out to ADVO Education Center and then drop them an email and say that you want to get in touch with Sharina.
Yeah. Okay. Can. Okay. Thank you so much, John. Thank you. And parents, good night. Bye.
Bye.